Peak Performance Coach AJ Madden here. Today we will talk about principle number 3, the power of no. This is one of our 7 principles of time mastery from 1% Warrior Leadership, now available on Amazon.com, my website, CoachAJMadden.com. This is one of the most important principles in all of the books that I have written. The power of no. No is a complete sentence. No is one of the biggest ways to save time imaginable. Practicing that power of no and exercising your no muscle. The more you say no and the more you exercise that muscle, the easier it gets, the stronger that muscle gets. Here's a quote from Dan Pena: "If you never did 75% of what you do every day, it wouldn't matter." If you never did 75% of what you did every day, it wouldn't matter. My philosophy is to be incredibly lazy at the things that do not matter and be incredibly, insanely disciplined at the things that do matter. It's not that complicated. What should we say no to? Things that do not bring us joy and things that do not bring us growth. People that do not bring us joy and people that do not bring us growth. Things that are not helping us to get closer to our most important goals. Things that don't help us to overcome our number one most important challenge. We can also say no to things that reduce our confidence. We can say no to interruptions and people distractions. The possibilities are endless. Think about how you can say no more often. And I often challenge people who are very busy and who are overwhelmed to make no their default answer for 30 days. And up to 30 to 90 days, say no as your default answer to new solicitations of your time and attention. Once that becomes that habit, hopefully your default answer is no permanently to things that don't get you closer to your most important goals. And Warren Buffett said the key to his success was saying no to 99 out of 100 solicitations of his time and attention that didn't get him closer to his 1 or 2 most important goals. How good are you at saying no to 99 out of 100 things that don't get you closer to your 1 or 2 most important goals? It's very simple. No is another function of the 80-20 principle there, where 20% of our activities get us 80% of our results, or 10% of our activities get us 100% of the results. We need to continuously say no to the things that don't move the needle closer, that are not vital functions, that do not bring us joy and growth. And we need to say no to ourselves in terms of doing things that don't bring others joy and growth. If we are doing things that bring the opposite to others, stagnation and unhappiness, we need to say no to that in order to attract people that bring us joy and growth into our life. We need to bring joy and growth to others in the first place. Here's a quote from Tim Ferriss. He's a peak performance coach, best-selling author, and venture capitalist. And he wrote 2 of my favorite books, Tools of Titans and Tribe of Mentors. And he poses this brilliant question: what if I could only subtract to solve problems? What should I put on my not to-do list? And this is, again, practicing the power of no. What should I not do? What do I need to stop doing? And so many times I see this over and over again. The things that we stop doing are equally as powerful as the things that we are equally or not, if not more powerful than things that we start doing in terms of overcoming a challenge or getting us closer to our most important goal. And Tim continues, he further expands on this concept. Choosing the few right things very carefully and doing them, being effective, is more important than doing a lot of things well, being efficient. Doing things well does not automatically make them important. And this is an essentialist mindset. Again, exercising that no muscle, practicing the power of no. Delegation is another way to exercise our power of no. No, I'm not going to do it myself, but yes, it's important to do. And as a leader, you can think about if someone can do it 80% as well as you can, delegate it. Delegate it. And they, so many times people surprise you and they do it better than you can. What don't we say no to and delegate are one or two vital functions. For example, if you're the CEO of a company, your one or two vital functions are going to be number one, growth initiatives for the company, and number two, attracting, developing, and keeping A-player leaders. That is what, if you are a number one, a CEO, a president, those are your two vital functions. I'll say that again. Growth initiatives for the organization, and number two, attracting, developing, and keeping A-player leaders. Those are the things that you should not delegate away. Those are the things that you should be actively involved in. I challenge leaders to spend 90% of their day on their two vital functions and all the activities that fall under those two vital functions, and 10% of their day reacting, solving problems, overcoming new challenges that come up. And that is a mental model that I challenge you to think about no matter what you're leading. For example, you are a military leader, you're a general, or you're, say you're a chief of police, law enforcement. So, for example, your two vital functions in that arena may be, number one, troop or officer welfare, checking on the troops. In business, we call this managing by walking around and paying attention to the needs and the emotional temperature of our team. So number one, troop or officer welfare. And number two, driving the strategy, the mission, the vision, driving that strategy / mission / vision of the organization, being that driver of that. That could be as a general or a chief of police. There's two examples that might be your two vital functions. And you have to decide for yourself what those two things are. Maybe you're a head football coach and your two vital functions would be to attract, develop, and keep the best players and leaders on the team. And then number two would be driving the mission and the culture of winning in an organization. Let's say you're a head football coach for a college football team. And then we practice the power of no, and we say no, or we delegate almost everything else. Meetings, one of the biggest wastes of time in any organization. Here's a quote from Captain James T. Kirk of Star Trek. A meeting is an event where minutes are taken and hours are wasted. Meetings are a tremendous waste of time unless there's progress being made. And here's some ways to make your meetings more effective. Brief. Make them as brief as possible. You can have an effective 15-minute meeting for in 15 minutes for a large organization. If everyone's laser focused and you lock in on what's most important, those vital functions. Bright, positive, solution oriented. Positive in terms of treating people with respect and dignity, and solution oriented. Relentless solution focus and a continuous mindset to your meetings. I see too many meetings go into mindless negativity, complaining about the competition, complaining about people in the organization, complaining about the political situation, the government, the weather, whatever the case may be. And they devolve into just a big waste of time. And, I say brief, bright, and back to the future. Brief, bright, and back to the future. Be future-oriented. What are we going to do tomorrow to make it better than today? What are we going to do in the next 5 minutes to make things better than they were yesterday? So we really want to be keep that back to the future mentality of what are we going to do now and what are we going to do tomorrow? And try to spend minimal time in the past, in the archaeological digs of reviewing data and this and that. Those things can be done through email before a meeting. You can send out reports and have people review those before the meeting on their own time instead of doing a data dump in a meeting. Brief, bright, and back to the future. That's a tremendous way to run a meeting, and it's also a tremendous way to communicate in general if you're a leader. That means not going on and on for 5 minutes about something. I challenge leaders to speak in no more than 30-second clips, and at the most 60 seconds. There's exceptions to this, but the vast majority of the time, you are speaking in short clips and you are listening. You are speaking in short clips and you are challenging people to do the same. Get to the point. Get to the point endlessly. Bright being solution-oriented, relentless solution-focused, and continuous improvement mindset, a positive, driven way of communicating. And 3, back to the future. Talking about the present and what are we going to do in the future tomorrow to make it better than today. I have, there's more tips for meetings in our 1% Warrior Leadership book, but there's 3 that you can apply to your meetings and also your daily communication. Here's a quote from Bruce Lee: "It is not the daily increase, but the daily decrease. Hack away at the inessentials." Continue to hack away at the inessentials in your life, in your leadership, in your organization. And if you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe. If you found it helpful, please share it with someone you believe will also find it helpful. And this is one of our principles from our 7 principles of time mastery that are included in 1% Warrior Leadership, available on Amazon, on my website, coachajmadden.com. This is essentially 20 years of leadership lessons that I have learned, and either from my own self-education or in the trenches as a leader and having the privilege to manage many incredible individuals. This is the best of the best. This is the book I wish I would have had 20 years ago. I know there's many things in here that you will find useful as a leader, whether you're beginning your journey as a leader or you're a very experienced leader. There is a lot in here that will be of use to you. I wish everyone success and happiness, and I challenge you to continue to practice the power of no and exercise that no muscle and make it stronger every day.